and welcome to episode 51 of the Rhody Rumble podcast. Today we are joined by the newest member of the University of Rhode Island Rams men's basketball program, Rory Stewart. He is a 6'9" shooter who hails from London, most recently played for Orangeville Prep in Toronto, Canada. He's the first English player to play for the Rams since Ben Eaves, who played for 3 seasons from 2008 to 11 in a Rams uniform. He will be a freshman this upcoming fall. How are you today, Roy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Like I said, congratulations. You committed 2 days ago to the program, and we're excited to have you. So thank you again for taking the time.
Of course, no problem.
So right off the bat, I think most Rhody fans want to know, why URI? Why'd you choose the University of Rhode Island?
Well, me and my family, we came down on a visit in the last week. Me and my mom and my dad, and I think that there's a lot of things that kind of stuck out to us. Obviously, the new coaching staff, Coach Miller, Coach Woodward, and all the other coaches. They were very, great hospitality when we were down there. They made me feel like, I was going to make a difference to the team, and I liked the stuff that they were, their plan is for the next years, and I think that it fits what I want very well. At the same time, we connected very well with the people of Rhode Island and the people on the university campus. They were super nice, and obviously, the everything in there, like the Ryan Center, all the facilities there, they're just top class. So I think it's definitely somewhere where I can make an impact, and yeah, I think the fans there are great too. The great fan base, and yeah, I just think that it's a great fit.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Coach Woodward and a couple of the other coaches that Archie Miller brought in this offseason. Were you recruited by any coach specifically? Did Archie reach out to you directly, or was it Coach Woodward who was in touch with you throughout the process?
It was mainly Coach Woodward. My head coach at Orangeville, Coach McIntyre, he's great friends with Coach Woodward, so that was kind of the connection there that built earlier on in the season for me. And then from there, obviously talked to Coach Miller when we were down here, and yeah, super great staff, and they've big plans for the season coming.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it. I'm a junior now, but with one more year left at URI, it sounds like this coaching staff that URI is bringing in with Archie Miller, they really have this attitude to them. They're looking for specific people that will, fit well into this program and will build the future for years to come. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, being a fan of the program and obviously covering it as well. So my next question for you is, what are you most excited about, just about repping Keaney Blue for the first time in front of a packed Ryan Center this upcoming fall?
I mean, I think that, playing in front of all the fans is going to be great. Obviously never played college basketball before coming in as a freshman, but I think it's the different, the community that we have at Rhode Island and in Kingston, that is just going to be something really special to play in front of. I think that having the new coaching staff, like we said, it's a different environment. And I think it's got a lot of people more excited that will be coming in this year.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm sure you've come to realize that the Ryan Center does get pretty loud, and the players do feed off of the fan energy. And unfortunately, we didn't really have that the last couple of years with the previous coaching staff, and just the way that things were going performance-wise. But again, as we keep alluding to, Archie Miller, I think will certainly turn some heads, and we should expect to have that atmosphere once again. And it will be a big factor. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. My next question for you is, have you been really in contact with any of the guys on the team right now? I know you recently took your visit with the university, and you have a previous relationship with your fellow teammate at Orangeville and your commit, Jeremy Foumena. So if you could just speak on that, and then also if you've been in touch with any of the other players on the roster.
So obviously me and Jeremy were good friends. We were actually roommates at Orangeville. I know the guy really well. Great player. We play well together too, which is something I think that the coaching staff likes when they're recruiting, a new class and the forwards especially. Guys that could play in tandem, and I know what Jeremy wants. He knows what I want. So I think it's something that's really special, bringing both of us in. And I haven't been, last couple of days, obviously been reached out to by a couple of the guys, but I've been in touch with a couple of the new incoming class. But I think, as the summer comes around and that definitely, you know, get more in touch with the rest of the team and start building those relationships.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, with basketball being such a team sport, chemistry is so important.
So important.
And that was something, again, that we lacked a little bit. I talked to Sebastian Thomas, one of our point guards, at the end of this past season. He was saying that really a lot of the mistakes were kind of being blamed on one another. You know, you were pointing the finger at someone after a big loss, and, you know, you can blame the free throw shooting or turnovers, anything like that. So I think definitely having a chemistry that flows and, you know, a coaching staff that will take it seriously and that will have, again, that attitude that they want to win. They want to be there in March or April, which actually goes into my next question. I'm sure you know this is an adjustment period for the program. So obviously bringing in a new head coach, more players to be brought in by way of the transfer portal, high school and AAU recruiting, and then internationally, which is what Archie Miller was talking a little bit about in the last press conference I was in, is really just using, you know, international connections to his advantage. What is your best way to enter this situation and, again, develop that chemistry on and off the court with your new teammates that you're going to get to know?
I mean, obviously, you know, we have that summer period where we're going to be at school, and then obviously we have the preseason too. So we have enough time. Yeah, we're definitely just going to be, you know, getting to know each other, hanging out with each other, and I think one of the things that's most special about Rhode Island is you're always going to be together, whether that's living together and on the court too. But I think that a lot of those relationships become stronger when you're off of the court. And then once those relationships are kind of built strong off the court, then that's when you can bring them back onto the court, and that's when you'll be, you know, a real team and together.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, with it being the smallest state,
Right.
everyone's so unified. You know, I feel like even just the community itself, you talked a little bit about that, kind of connecting with the Rhode Island community when you were on your visit here, but everyone's so connected. I'm actually from New York,
Right.
but since coming here, I've gotten to know, you know, a lot of people in the fan base, a lot of people in media, and even some of the players as well. So really, everyone's so connected. Everyone has the same mission, the same goal at the end of the day. They want to win. So I think that's certainly important what you brought up there. A big question that I love to ask on this podcast or on this show is just what motivates you, or what is your why?
What is my why? I think, well, my story is a bit different than a lot of people. Obviously, you know, coming from the UK, I never started playing basketball until I came to Canada, and that was kind of a big thing that drove me. Was I wanted to do something that a lot of people hadn't done, and that was always something that I wanted. I didn't really want to, you know, follow in the footsteps of the regular crowd. I kind of like being, you know, the guy that did different things, and I think that coming from the UK, it kind of put me in a great position to be able to do that. And yeah, just coming to Canada, then started picking up basketball, fell in love with the game, and from there it kind of just took off for me. And then I realized that, you know, this was gonna be my route to you know, playing basketball in college, and that's what I always wanted. I always wanted to play college basketball or a college sport, and I think that basketball was a great way for me to do that. And then, you know, just having, you know, kind of repping two countries now, it's something that's really special to me, and I have a lot of my family, my friends, and a lot of fans back in the UK too now that, you know, that are cheering me on. So I think all those guys definitely motivate me to keep going. And then obviously I have my family and my friends here, and I think that my family is definitely my biggest supporters. Those guys always, my mom, my dad, my two sisters, they always motivate me and, you know, keep me pushing forward, even though, you know, some things always don't go your way. But yeah, those guys always have my back and show support.
Yeah, that's an incredible story. I've talked to a lot of different people, athletes, you know, media people, coaches, and everyone has a different story. But I guess for you, just kind of being, you know, the underdog and, you know, not getting into basketball as early as some other people, but kind of finding this love or passion for it. And like you just said, being able to rep two other countries now and coming to the United States and, you know, live this opportunity to play college basketball. That's incredible.
Exactly.
And I want to shift gears now and talk a little bit about, you know, playing in Canada. So you played at Orangeville Prep growing up in England, like you talked about. What went into the decision to go to Canada in the first place?
It's kind of funny. It didn't have anything to do with me playing basketball. It was kind of just, I was 11 at the time, and I think that my family was kind of just looking for something different. We were obviously, and I think that's something that my mom and dad worked extremely hard, and that they kind of brought us this opportunity. It started out as you know, a three year little gig for my dad with his work, and then we kind of fell in love. I fell in love with the game, obviously, and then my two sisters, they also love being here. So then we kind of wanted to extend that. We didn't really want to move back after that time. And then, yeah, here we are, 7, 8 years later, and we're still loving it. And obviously, basketball is clearly taken off for me and my two sisters now. One of them is in college in Canada, and the other one's still doing high school. But we all love it here, and yeah, this is really my second home, first home. I don't really know exactly what it is, but yeah, definitely Canada's really special to me now, and Orangeville has been absolutely great for me in terms of basketball and recruiting, and especially Coach Tony. He's just been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. It kind of reminds me of the theme that just everything happens for a reason. I feel like there was a reason that you came to Orangeville and that you got into the sport of basketball, and maybe growing up you didn't realize that, but making that transition or that change, you came to realize that you love this game. So that's really cool. I've definitely had scenarios and situations throughout my life. Same thing. I didn't know I wanted to get into media or something like that, but eventually I found myself at Rhode Island, and here I am 7, 8 years down the line, like you said, doing the same thing. So that's really cool how life works like that. What is the biggest lesson, that you've just learned from playing thus far?
I'm going to go back to that old Kevin Durant saying that hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And I think that's one that's super special to me, because obviously, like we said, like I said, that I always started late playing basketball. So the only way, and obviously, when you start, you have no talent, and obviously all I had was really height. But I think that the thing that, separated me, and the thing that only basically allowed me to get to the position I am today, committing and going to Rhode Island next year, is just my hard work. And it's always been something that's, I've had in the back of my head that the only way I'm going to do it now is through hard work. And I think that that's something that my parents and our families, put in me from a young age. My parents work extremely hard. So I think that, that's kind of just been put in me, and I kind of just, it's just the only thing I know now. Is just work hard, and, hard work always beats talent. And yeah.
Yeah. That kind of leads into my next question as well. Did you have a mentor growing up that sort of pushed you along the way? I know you talk about your parents and the influence and the impact that they had on you, but did you have a coach or someone who really, impacted your career and your style of play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have my parents that were always, as I was growing up, obviously, I made the big move. So any kind of real connections that I had back in the UK, they kind of, got a little distant. So, my parents were the only people that I always knew that I would have, and then I think that it seemed like, looking back on it now, it seemed like at the time, at every time in my life, I always had somebody that was looking out for me. Changing schools and all that, I would always have someone that was looking for my best interest, even though it might not have been to, stay with them. I always, moving up the levels, I always had someone that was looking out for me. But obviously in the last 2 years, like I said, Coach Tony, he looked out for me. He told me, the bad and the good and everything that I needed, and everything in between that I needed to do, to make this next step and get to the next level. And yeah, I don't even know, like, that guy is super special to me now.
Yeah, of course. There's always someone or a coach or a parent or someone in your life that just makes that impact on you. I definitely have people in my life that have done the same, but it's always good to have someone, your main supporters, your main resources around you that have kind of helped you to become the individual that you are today. So that's definitely good to hear as well. Just a couple more questions for you, not too many. If you could compare your game to, any other player, professionally at the collegiate level, just anyone that you try and model your game after, who would that be and why?
I love to say Kevin Love. Kevin Love, he's been in the league for a lot of time now, but yeah, I think that I model a lot of, I watch a lot of film on him, and a lot of my stuff, that I do comes from what he does. Great 3-point shooter. He also has some inside game, and I think that's been what's that dynamic and the versatility is what was made him such a great salary and all that type of stuff, made him in the league, and the longevity of for a long time. So he's a great player that I always like to look at, see what he's doing, and try to replicate after that.
Yeah, staying on professional for a little bit. Orangeville definitely had a lot of notable alumni, such as Jamal Murray, Lou Dort, Iggy Brass, Thon Maker. Have you had the opportunity to, get to know them at all or learn anything from them?
Obviously, those guys are super busy, but I remember last year, Jamal came back, and I had a chance to watch him work out, and I think that something that I took from that was definitely, the hard work never stops. Once you obviously get to the top, he's playing in the NBA now. That hard work never stops, and he's still working out as if he's the worst. And that's something I always, aspire to. Maybe you might not think you're the worst, but you got to train like you got so much more to work on. Otherwise, everything's going to catch up to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice right there. Two more questions for you. So just going back real quick to your decision to commit to Rhody, what are you most excited about playing for Archie Miller as your head coach? We talked a little bit about him and sort of the ideas and themes that he has, but what has he, I guess, established to you maybe on the tour that you took that really turned your head or opened your eyes to the kind of coach or the individual that he is?
Yeah, so I think that I've watched, even before coming on the visit, I watched a lot of what he used to do back when he, coach at Dayton, coach at Indiana. I watched what he used to do, and I think that before that, coming into the visit, I knew that my style of play matched with what he wanted to do on offense, especially, and on defense too. When that little pitch to me was, showing me film of what he used to do, and looking at what I did my past year at Orangeville, was kind of the same. And like, I think that the way he wants to play is the way that I play. And it's not one of those things that he's going to have to change what he wants to satisfy me. And I think that that's something that's really nice, is that my game will fit really nicely into what he wants, and what he has always done. And I think that's what, a great fit there.
Yeah, he's big on the high energy, fast pace, having an attitude, playing with a purpose, winning. And at least from what I've heard from him and being in the same room as him, and him just sharing, what he's looking for in the recruiting process. I think another thing about him that I really like is he's in no rush. I look at some of the other coaches just in the NCAA or Division I, and they're trying to grab every single person they can get off the transfer portal or every single recruit they can get that walks into the front door. But I feel like Archie Miller definitely has a type, who he's looking for on and off the floor. And, and that's really good to see, and what he's established to you guys. Again, I talked to Lou Hutchinson the other day and Brain Freeman, who are in your class this incoming fall, and they said the same exact thing, that he's really looking for guys that are going to benefit this program. So that's definitely nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely knows exactly what he wants. This is a calculated decision that he's been thinking about for a while. He's obviously he wasn't anywhere last year, so he, me and him talking, like he took that time to figure out exactly what he needs, exactly what he wants coming into this next year, and what he thinks that would make Rhode Island the most successful place, over the course of the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Lastly, what do you think you can bring to this Rams roster? Tell the Rhody fans that may be watching this at home or listening to this, why they should be excited about your arrival. I know I'm certainly excited to have you next fall, but tell people why they should be excited to have you and what you can bring.
Yeah, no. So I'm a super, I'm a high energy guy, I would say. I bring a lot of, 3-point shooting. I'm good on defense, versatile. That's why I like to call myself, I can play the 4-5, even sometimes even played the 3 this past year. I need to work on my ball handling. I must put that out there. But I think that something that I like is just, getting out, running. I'm a high motor guy. I like to, have great cardio and all that, so I can keep going. I think that's something that Miller liked about me. But super high energy guy. I like to get everyone going. Whether that's for me shooting, or moving the ball and all that type of stuff. I like to get momentum and all that type of stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Rory, thanks so much for taking the time. I look forward to seeing you in the fall, and best of luck with everything as you're wrapping up high school and everything going on. And go Rhody.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right.